Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited to finally be going through my 2019 planner flip through for you. This is my Recollections Hourly memory planner, or I use it as a memory planner, but I just want to say that I did try to keep positive things in here, but life happens. There are some unexpected things that I have to disclose because I can't put pictures on the entire year, but let's go ahead and get right into it, and I'll explain as I go. I was marking our travel days right here with a mild liner just to visually see what weekends I had off. And then on the next page, I wrote down exactly what city and state that we would be in. And then January, this is a Cricut Paper Co. kit. Most of my kits I use in here are from Sweet Kawaii Design. Unless I tell you otherwise, it's going to be from Sweet Kawaii Design. I also want to let you know that if you see some little black smudges, it's just part of the stickers, the friction of using a Sharpie. You might see some of that bleeding over onto other things. So, getting right into the heavy stuff. In December of 2018, my home burned down, like completely to the ground. The fire marshal said that it was the surge protector failed and sent an arc through, and it either sparked the presents or the tree. We're not sure which one, but that brings us into January. This planner, you're going to see a lot of demolition, a lot of housework, a lot of things like that. With that being said, I did try to keep it positive. There are periods in here where I didn't put any pictures down just because there was a lot of stuff going on. But with that being said, we will get right into January. So we were demoing the floors on this day here. There's my husband, literally me and my husband, and a lot of our friends and neighbors helped to come demo because our insurance company was not paying. So we had to front a lot of the cost as we progressed. Like, we'll get into that, but so I was looking at magazines and stuff to get inspiration. We were nowhere near the step of the house getting put back together, but my husband was trying to keep me positive and like looking towards the light at the end of the tunnel and focusing on what the house was going to look like when it was done and not the fact that we just lost everything. So you'll see a lot of like catalogs and stuff like that throughout. But positive thing, we did pay the house off. We had saved for a long time and it was finally paid off. So we no longer have a house payment, and that's great news. We had dinner with our friends right here. We were walking through the house, like just cleaning everything up, really. I got really heavy into my planning and into the Sweet Kawaii Design group during this time of my life. So right here we were just like sketching and redesigning the house. And then I did start working out again. I threw myself into my crafts and my planning. I started to draw again. We had a little party that we went to on this day. Again, I was crafting, so I made a little bookmark for my planner. I had lunch with my friend Yasmin, and I joined a knitting circle. I had some coffee and donuts, which really it's more of like a crafting circle because we do other things besides knit. I don't know how to knit, but moving right along, I was continuing to work out. Our bathtub was delivered on this day, so that was super exciting to get that in. And this is why I will forever be a supporter of Tasia and her sticker shop, Sweet Kawaii Design. She took the time to handwrite me a little note here, and she said, "Hey Brandy, thank you for always being so sweet in the Facebook group. I love having you there." So to me, like, one, I'm pretty sentimental, and I thought that was awesome for her to take time out of her day to write me a note. So I like that. And then we were designing the pool on this day. Again, not a lot of pictures because I'm covering this one right here. Sorry, because it's a picture of a snake eating and I forgot to put a sticky note on it. But I was trying to like not put stuff like that in my planner just because it was kind of depressing. Like, it was still pretty fresh for me and I didn't want to like cry every time I was planning. So we were finally done with demolition on this day though. So that was exciting. We were done with knocking walls and things down. I was still working out and we were trying to get a little bit healthier. My husband got a really big job. He owns his own general contracting company. So he got a commercial job in Colorado. So he was in Colorado a lot of this time and I was still trying to put the house back together in lieu of him being gone and juggling work and things like that. So I was on leave from December up until I think next week, you'll see, just because we needed time to figure out like where we were gonna live, and we had to like buy clothes or find clothes because all we had to our name was literally whatever we were wearing at work that day that the fire happened. Like, that's all we had. So my job gave me some time to kind of figure those things out. But he was in Colorado a lot. And then right here we did have to pay the lawyer, which I'll get into a little bit later down the road. But pretty much our insurance company was not playing fair. And so does insurance ever play fair? But sorry, I have tons of snake. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a disclaimer. I probably have a lot of pictures of reptiles in this video, and if you're not a reptile person, I am super sorry, but there's gonna be pictures of it as we go forward. But we had a reptile show, Life Goes On, this weekend. We did have to still, you know, maintain a business and continue life. So here we go. I went back to work right here. So my pictures, one, dwindled down, and I was too busy to try to juggle like work and pictures and all that stuff. So I was training. I had lunch with my friend on this day. Matthew was supposed to come back, but he did not come back this day, so he was still in Colorado. I had lunch with my friend Yasmin again on this day, and I was cleaning and feeding the reptiles. And this kit is from Cricket Paper Co. Moving into February, so I was still going to work. We were feeding and cleaning on this day. Matthew's finally home. I had lunch with my friend. I had lunch with Matthew. I was still at work in training, so my days were a little bit shorter to accommodate for meeting people at the house and getting that. It was my friend's son's birthday, so we brought his present over, and we were gone at a reptile show. We were in Oklahoma for these days. And then this is Valentine's week. I love this kit so much. It's super pretty. But I had a doctor appointment on this day, and then it looks like I was at work. I was in meetings. Matthew sent me a present for Valentine's Day. He sent me flowers to work, I'm pretty sure. I just didn't take a picture of it. And then on actual Valentine's Day, he took me out to, it's a local theater show here, and we watched some improv theater, which was really fun. And then we left for a reptile show. We were in Dallas, Texas for this weekend. This is a printable kit. I don't remember the shop. I'll have to link it down below for you. And this is my birthday week. So again, I was still going to work. We were still doing a ton of stuff at the house. I just wasn't documenting house things because I didn't really want to think about it, honestly. I just wanted to look back and not remember the house stuff. And I just wanted to be positive and be like, look, you know, I got Happy Mail on this day. But it did change a little bit. So I was pretty much at work this whole week. I did get some flowers. Matthew had flowers delivered to my job, and then he took me out to the melting pot for dinner, which was amazing. I definitely had a food coma. And then we were gone for this weekend at a reptile show. And this is from Wild Summer Designs, and it's probably one of my favorite kits and layouts that I have ever done to this day. So we were feeding and cleaning the animals on this day. I ordered from Sweet Quai Design. I did buy another Erin Condren because, again, I lost everything, so I decided to repurchase an Erin Condren. We had a meeting for the windows and doors, and we were drawing the kitchen cabinets and designing. My husband and I went to breakfast both on this day and this day, and we met with the electrician. So I started to kind of trickle in a little bit of house things here and there, just because it was easier to track and keep it all in one place, like visually seeing it. And also, it did happen. This is from Sweet Quai Design. So I couldn't really erase like an entire year of my life, you know? So this going into March, I had lunch with Matthew. We did go to the fireplace store to pick out some to start looking at fireplaces. Our driveway got redone on these 2 days. I did start putting pictures back in my planner, and I'm glad I did that. So I had lunch with my friend. We were picking out the fireplace still, interior doors, looking at floors, a ton of stuff. We went out to dinner this night. Okay, so I'm just gonna say we did eat a lot, but out because we were living in a hotel room and we didn't have a kitchen or a stove or any of that stuff. So eventually I did get like a little hot plate for us to use, and I tried to make some dinners, but you know, it's hard to do that when you don't have a stove. So we ate out a lot of food. And we were looking at floors, and then we had dinner with our friends on this night, the Barnes, and then we drove to a reptile show, and we were gone all weekend. And when we came back, we finally settled on a fireplace. We picked one out, so I had the day with my husband, and then we went to our friend's house, and we were looking at his collection of animals, and then we finally started getting some material in. So from December to March, progress on the house, this is when we actually started putting the house back together. and we were meeting with a ton of people. And we went to pick out floors. We had lunch with our friend Kevin. I did finally settle. These 2 floors are in my house right now. And so the next day I was looking at paint colors to go with that and picking out which colors that I wanted to. And I probably can tell you every single shade of paint that Lowe's has because I was that crazy about it. And then we were meeting with the cabinet person to design the cabinets. We had lunch with our friends, the Hills, and then we finally had a structure. Like, this was a huge step in the house rebuilding and thinking more positive and not being like so down on myself, but a house started to take shape right there. So that was awesome. And this weekend, our floors were delivered. We had some siding go up on the garage. It's a 2-story garage. We had our fence that was being installed. I got a library card for the first time in probably like 15 years that I've had a library card. So that was awesome. And then we were gone this weekend here. We went to New Orleans and my friend could not handle Bourbon Street. Bourbon Street got him. So fortunately, but unfortunately, I did have to purchase a car because with my previous position, I had a company car, but with them transitioning me into a new position, given the situation and the hours that I needed, that was no longer a perk that I had. So they did take my company car and we had to purchase one, which I was, obviously like excited about, but the timing was really bad. Like I said, we had to pay for everything in our house to be done. So financially, it was really hard for us to do that, but I needed to get to the house and I needed to get to work. So what are you gonna do, The outside of our garage was finished and we started to put up a deck right here. I had a meeting with the cabinets. We were just designing and picking out cabinets. I did go to the craft store with my friend Carly, and then on this day, my friend Carly and Jamie, we hung out and then we picked all the trim for the entire house. And then we started framing out the fireplace on this day, and I was looking at ideas to maybe start getting some of my front gardening back. And my husband and I did a lot of the work ourselves. Like at the house on the weekends when the workers weren't there, my husband and I were there like just working to move the house along and not stall the project. The Sweet Quiet Design. I think going forward, all of my monthlies are from Sweet Quiet Design. And sorry I'm talking super fast. I just want to get this like through this video and get it up for you with no technical difficulties, hopefully. So we had a ton of dump trucks coming because, with your house burning down, not everything burns. You have like soot and trash. So we had to put everything in garbage bags and load it up and haul it out. So we had a lot of dump trucks. We got some paint delivered on this day. We got all of our trim that came in, and then I was picking out the texture. He did some samples for me, and I got to pick the texture that was going to be on our walls. And we drove to a show. We were in Louisiana for this weekend here. We got to visit my grandmother-in-law because she does live out in Louisiana, so that was awesome. This is from Wild Summer Designs. We had dinner with our friends, the Hills. We got some of the windows installed, which was a huge step. Like, I was so relieved because up until this point, our house was bare. We didn't have windows, we didn't have doors, we didn't have locks, and we had material. We had like hundreds of dollars worth of material that was just sitting in the house, and I was terrified that somebody was going to, walk away with it all. So that made me feel a little bit better to get some of the windows up. We didn't have all of them, but it's better than nothing. And then our roof, they started to put the roof on the house on this day right here, which was really cool. My friend's cat tried to come back to the hotel with me. She would not get out of my car. And then we got the fence, most of the fence put up. And then right here, I spent the day with my mommy, and I think we got this window installed as well. And then we went over to our friend's house and we watched Game of Thrones with them. Where we were going to? Yeah, that was the season premiere. And then again, our workers had off because I think this was Easter week or something, so I'm not sure. A lot of them took some time to hang out with family and stuff. So my husband and I were at the house working. We did go look at the garden center to get some ideas on plants. We had some cabinets that went into the house. I was getting ready for the readathon with Creating & Co., so I picked up some books from the library. We had dinner with our friends, the Hills. And then this day we just at the house all day, like pool guy, texture, floors, things like that. And I had lunch with my friend Carly on this day, and we went over to a friend's house and we dyed some Easter eggs with them and their family. And then this was the Creating Co-Readathon, the first one that I had ever participated in, and I got hooked. So we went to our friend's house, The Hills, and we watched Game of Thrones. I hung out with my friend Carly, and then this is the Easter eggs that I dyed, but I didn't have room to put it on the last spread, so I put it right here. We had to pay the pool guy, which really hurt a lot. And then the next day they started to plaster the pool right there. I was drawing and getting some ideas for my garden on this day, and Amazon sucks like that. Oh man, I'd never had any problems with Amazon previously to this, but when you're doing, we were ordering a lot of stuff, you know, like everything that you need for your house, like we needed. So I was doing a large amount of orders, and they kept flagging my card and my account for fraud, and it took like weeks to get fixed, which normally like it's not a huge deal, but this order was for our lights because the electrician and all the workers couldn't do their job because we didn't have power and lights to the house yet. It was still really dark, and we were using like flashlights and big umbrella lights and things like that, but we didn't have any light bulbs. And so anyways, from April, watch, I'll show you when we finally got the Amazon deliveries. It's been a process with them. Matthew's home, so I'm guessing he was in Colorado for a few weeks because, again, he did get that really big commercial job, so he was in and out of Colorado pretty much this whole process. And then they started painting some of the doors in the house. And then we packed and we left for Kansas City, and I got to meet two of the coolest people ever, Kayla and Darshell. I'm so glad that we hung out. This was like a huge relief, and I needed the weekend to focus on me and do something fun with like-minded people. So we went to Tea Drop and we had boba tea, the first time that I ever had boba tea in my life. And then this was an extension of the readathon kit just because I didn't have enough room to put it on one page, and I was planning out what books I was going to read. Moving into May. So every trip that we go on, my husband will take me like a branch and we will graph it to one of our other trees. So I have like a hodgepodge tree of every place that we've been. I know it's kind of weird when I say that, but I like to garden, and he knows that, so it's just something that we did together. I did find this little copperhead in my garden. He's poisonous. He was not looking very healthy. I did call a sanctuary, and he's doing better now. I know that's weird for some people, but reptiles are my animals and my pets, so we got him some help, and he's doing really well. And then we had some cabinets going in on this day. It was my husband's birthday, so we had dinner and a movie together. And oh my God, we probably repainted these cabinets 100 times because, again, the house was not boarded up and there was no windows or doors that like locked the house. And we kept having like a little cat or something. Every time that we would paint, a little cat would come in and put his little kitty paw prints on everything. So that lasted a few weeks, but we finally got the door in on this day, and then we left for a reptile show. We were in Austin, Texas. Moving right along, I had the day with Matthew. He wasn't really feeling good, so we got some boba tea, and he relaxed a little bit while I dealt with all the health stuff, and then we were designing the closets and some of the cabinets still. I took the crew out to lunch just because they were working really hard, and I just wanted to show my appreciation for them. And then we picked out our granite on this day, and we got some of the closets in. And the pool, oh my God, this day was super stressful. Yeah, long day, meh. We had all of the contractors at the house on this same exact day, and it was a weekend that we were leaving for Colorado. So we just had like a ton of stuff going on, and my husband was busy. He maintained his job while I took leave to finish the house here. So I went back for a little bit back in, I think from February to May, I was at work. February to April, and then I took leave again because it was too demanding with putting the house back together. But anyways, so we were in Colorado this weekend. And this kit is from Nicole Lexia Designs. It was the opening week of Aladdin, and it's my favorite Disney movie of all time. And my husband knows that, so he wanted to take me out, and I wanted to like put that in my planner that, have like a tribute to Aladdin. So the pool was finished on this day from when they started it last week. And then we had dinner with our friend Jamie. We got some plants that were coming in. We were doing some meetings with some of the contractors, and then we had dinner and Game of Thrones with our friends, the Hills. We went to Star Furniture just to look around. So the only thing that we purchased brand new is the bed and the couches. Everything else I refurbished by either finding it at like a thrift store or on the side of the road. So you can see right here, I found this bench and I just stained and painted it myself. And then this night, best day ever, Aladdin came out, so me and my husband did go see that. And then we went to dinner with our friends, the Hills, on this day. This kit is from Creating & Co. I really love it so much. We had to try to pressure wash the house because the fire blew out the glass and burned some of the brick, and we weren't sure if it was going to come off or if we would have to replace the brick, which it came off in some areas, but other areas we did have to buy more brick and replace that. So, and then we had more meetings on this day, and I was just painting. I was painting all the furniture. This was the first live plan with me that I participated in, where I watched Kayla and Darshell plan, and I planned along with them. And then again, so this was like a cherry wood color that we got this at a thrift store for, it's my dining room table now, but I re-sanded it and painted it down. And then we had dinner with our friends, the Hills, and there's the workers. They're like, they're painting and they're like, hey. And then we were moving out of the hotel. So this weekend we moved out. We did accumulate quite a lot of boxes for being in the hotel room, but we moved out and we were living in the garage for a few months, and we'll get there. So this was my anniversary week, 8 years with my husband, married 8 years. But it's a principal kit. I don't remember from where. I'll have to double check. So we had some of the cabinets that got painted. I got some Happy Mail. He did send me some flowers for my anniversary, which they're really pretty. And then we had some of the bathroom granite installed, and we went out to celebrate for ice cream, and I apparently had some donuts. But here's the little table I was still painting for the dining room. And then we did get our garage door installed. And then this weekend we were at a reptile show. We were in Conroe, Texas. This kit is from Cricut Paper Co. So we went and we were looking at some plants to add to the front of the garden bed. I found this chair on the side of the road, and me and my friend Carly reupholstered it. It's actually in my craft room right now. And then we had some floors going in, so that was awesome. We're getting closer to being in the house. And I did a blind date with a book. If you guys like to read, go check out Darshell's Facebook group. It's Books and Planners, and we do a lot of cool stuff there. So that's fun. I was reading. I had more freaking donuts. I don't know what was going on. I ate a lot of donuts. But it looks like we just had a relaxing weekend, and we went out to lunch with some friends. And again, these tables we got at a thrift store. They were cherry wood, and I painted and stained them myself to be white to match the decor of the house. I decided that our pool was done and I was going to read by the pool and stick my feet in. And then we had our appliances delivered. So there's the guy who's trying to figure everything out. And here's the chair I told you. Me and Carly spent reupholstering it. We spent the day doing it. And on this day, we had our stairs and our banister going in. And the guys were off Saturday and Sunday. The work, like no work happened unless my husband and myself came to the house and did it. And we wanted the house to keep moving and progressing forward. So we did a lot of the work with them, if that makes sense. So there I am staining the stairs that he just put in. Like my hands were covered. I was brown for days. And then again, to save money, because we were fronting the cost of the entire house rebuild, which is super expensive, and we went into debt over it. But instead of buying furniture and stuff brand new, I was repurposing a lot of stuff. So I found these chairs on the side of the road, and I sanded them down and painted them black myself to match my decor. And also we were eating out a ton because we still did not have a kitchen at this point. But on this day we hung out. We had ice cream with our friend and her daughter Megan, and we had our mattress delivered on this day, and I had lunch with my friend Carly. And then again, I was with Carly on this day. They started to install some of the kitchen granite, And since the mattress was delivered, I set the bed up, which was awesome. I don't think we were living in the house yet because there was still stuff going on, but we had to put plastic and stuff over it to keep it nice and new. And then I thought this was super funny. Every time you go to the dump to dump a load, they make you wear hard hats and like little safety vests. So we went to the dump that day. And then we were in a show this weekend. Sweet Quiet Design monthly. Moving into July, we finally moved into the house and I was super excited for that. So the rest of the furniture was delivered. The couches were delivered on this day. Here's all of my Amazon packages. From whatever month that I told you Amazon sucked, they finally started coming in July. And then so I was just setting up everything. We had some kitchen hardware installed. We had a party over at our friends, the Hills house. So there's us. And then we had a snake that had some babies, which was awesome because we weren't sure with the fire and the smoke if they were going to be able to reproduce later down the line or if it affected them somehow. So this was just like a huge step for our reptile business that the snakes were going to be a-okay. And then we went out with my mom. I hung out with my mommy and we got some smoothies, and I was still unpacking boxes and just setting up the house and trying to get it, situated. And the first thing I did was set up my coffee pot, and I made the best latte of my life because up until this point I had been drinking no coffee. I had coffee in the hotel room, but then when we moved here I didn't have any coffee because I didn't have a coffee pot. And then I talked to HR because it was time that the house was coming together. We were living in it now, like we just moved back in. So stuff wasn't done. We still had work going on, but it was livable, So it's time for me to transition back into work. And then I was crafting on this day. Our neighbors' kids really like the snakes, so they come over and we were like showing them all the snakes and stuff. And I decided to highlight my hair. And then again, we set up the craft room. So like I said, these two shelves I found on the side of the road, repainted them. It was my brother-in-law's birthday, so we went out on the boat and had a good time. And then my brother-in-law and his wife, my husband, and myself all made my craft room desk that I'm at right now. And this is from Cricket Paper Co. My dog, I'm sure, was happy to be out of the hotel room and finally back where he had more room to run around. I did transition back to work, so here's like a stack of stuff that I needed to do. I had meetings all day with, again, transitioning to my new position. And then we went out for ice cream to celebrate. I don't know what we were celebrating, but we had ice cream. And then we had some guys come and paint the outside of the house was getting painted, so that was awesome. And then we were gone for a reptile show. We were in Louisiana this weekend. And then we were at Shark Week. I got this cute little note from Zach with Sweet Quiet Design, and I never get like notes from him, so I put it in my planner because I thought that was really cute. And you can see we still had stuff going on in the house. I just wasn't taking pictures of that. So like plumber, outside the house, floors, fireplace, like a ton of stuff. We were supposed to pick out my new kitty this weekend. We did go see, but backstory, the December of 18, when my Christmas present was going to be a Sphinx cat. That's a naked cat. And due to the circumstances of what happened, we didn't end up getting the cat. Like, he already put a deposit down and everything. So we waited until we were back in the house and we can, have somewhere for the new kitty to live. But stuff kept happening, and we actually, this is July, we just got my naked cat like 2 weeks ago of 2020. So from 2018 to 2020, she's here. And then it was my friend's daughter's birthday, so, naturally we threw cake in her face. That was fun. And then we had dinner with my friends, the Hills, and we went out for boba, and Kayla and Darshell did another live plan with me. We also went to the fireplace store because we had our last appointment with them, and they came in and they installed the fireplace on this day. And I got some plants for my outside, and I was getting ready to garden. And then my husband surprised me with some geckos because I did lose all of my lizards and geckos in the house fire. It just got too hot for them. So moving into August, this is from Sweet Quiet Design. This is from Scribble Prints Co. So there's one of my new baby geckos hanging out. He's super cute. Love him. And then I did my nails, and I had lunch with my mommy on this day. And then I started making some goodie bags because my mom and I went to the Scribble Prince Co. planner party, which was a ton of fun. And I babysat my friend's dog on this day. And we got to meet at this planner party. We got to meet such awesome people and a lot of like-minded people. So that was a lot of fun. But my mom, guys, like, what are parents for, right? Except to embarrass you. So I told her, I was like, I have the biggest crush on Kane from Print Pression. Like, if he was not, in a relationship, and if he was straight, and if I was single, I would totally like be all over him because I have like a little crush on him. So I told my mom that, and then we go in line to meet him, and the first thing she says, she's like, my daughter has the biggest crush on you. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, why would you say that? Like, thanks, Mom. But he was really cool, down to earth. We also met like Irene and Cynthia and like a ton of the like big planner people, if you will. Okay, so we were finally setting up the reptile room upstairs in the second story garage. So they were bringing in an incubator. They started to paint the outside of the house on this day. And then I went out for, it looks like, some tea. And then I started to foil. I was playing with the laminator and foiling things. I got a little addicted to it. And then we hung out with our friend Bart on this day because I think it was his birthday. And then we were gone for a reptile show, which if you've ever watched Tank, I think it's on Animal Planet. I got to meet Wade and his wife. He's one of the stars on Tanked, and they signed that little shirt for me, so that was super cool to get to meet him. And then my husband and I like to catch reptiles and release them, so there he is with the crocodile. I was in meetings all day with work. My husband came to visit me. We had lunch at my job. I think this is when I got into Darshell's Books and Planners group, but I'm not sure. It could have been before then, but I was still reading. Again, it was my friend's birthday, so, we smashed cake in his face. That's what we do. And then I had some plants coming in to get the garden ready. And I spent this whole day foiling everything and crafting in my planners. All right, so I had the day with Matthew. We had some meetings to go to. And we had lunch together, and then I got some Happy Meal on this day. I ate another freaking donut. I don't know. And then I was playing with the mini Happy Planner, and then we packed everything and we left, and we were in Kansas City this weekend. This kit is from Creating & Co. It was another readathon. I didn't do so great at it, but I was still working really hard outside of the front of the house. I had some Starbucks on this day, and I had lunch with my friend Yasmin. And then that's not a donut, guy. That's a muffin. I switched it up. I changed it from a donut to a muffin. And then we went plant shopping on this day. And we had kind of like a little pool party. Just because the pool was done, and the house, we were living in the house, and our neighbors and our friends were super excited. So they all brought their kids over to have a little pool party at our house. And my husband's putting one of the kids in the cooler. Apparently he's a bully. And then September, Sweet Quiet Design. So this is when it's going to get a little bit heavy, and I'm sorry. I'll try my best not to get emotional. I think I've done pretty good up until now. So we had a Labor Day party at our friend Diane's, and then we went for lunch as well. And then on this day, it looks like we had some lunch with some friends, and then I went out again with a friend, and it says, tell Matt. So I found out that I was pregnant. So I told my husband on this day, and I told my mommy on this day, and then had a doctor appointment and made it official. We're pregnant. So this was happening. A little kid was coming into the world. So I put my little pregnancy test right there just to remember. And it's so funny. So we were at a show this weekend, and we have ultrasound machines. So we probably have 3 because we ultrasound the reptiles to see when they're building follicles and when to pair them and stuff like that. So our friends, they have machines too, and we went to the show, and my husband was so excited that we were pregnant. So he told everybody, and one of our friends, he had his machine there, and he's like, let's ultrasound you. And I was like, okay. So that was technically my first ultrasound, but it was not official. And don't worry, he's a certified nurse, so we're good. I was in good hands. So this day I had with my friend Carly. I was trying to eat a little bit healthier and not, eat so much donuts because I had a little one coming, and what I eat, they eat. And then I had lunch with my friend Yasmin, and I ordered a ton of pregnancy books because I wanted to know like the changes that were going to be happening in my body and, kind of what to expect because I'm new to this. So I did have another doctor appointment on this day, and it says, "Write the little gremlin." That's what I was calling it. It's not squishy or anything. It's a little gremlin. But I'm sentimental, and I wanted to just document my journey and my symptoms every week. Just write the unborn baby, and then when they grow up and they're older, and I can give them that little book just to have, a memory. I don't know. I'm mushy. I get it. But we packed and we left. We were in Dallas, Texas this weekend here. So my gecko room was finally finished. So here I am. We're organizing the geckos. I had another doctor appointment on this day, and then I was just reading. We were getting the animals situated. There's my official ultrasound picture. I did have another doctor appointment on this day, and I was still reading a ton of pregnancy books. And then we had dinner with our friends and organizing the gecko room. I redid my nails. We were packing, and we left for a reptile show this weekend in Oklahoma. And I decided that I wanted to decorate the patio just a little bit for fall, so I put some decorations out. I had a meeting with my area manager. I had decaf tea. I think I started to not feel so well on this day here. And I cut all the caffeine out of my life, so I was drinking like decaf and stuff just to prepare for the little one, And we had a little party at my job, so that was fun. And then we left and we drove to Colorado, and we were at a show for this weekend. Moving into October, Sweet Quiet Design. So we went to the Restaurant Depot. It's pretty much like a giant restaurant store where they sell things at wholesale cost for your business. I had another doctor appointment on this day. I was feeling super sick, so my husband went and got me some popcorn and like old school root beer kind of style drinks. So I was like, thanks. So he tried to make me feel better on that day. And then I was in the gecko room just feeding and cleaning. And I was like, it's okay if today all you did was survive. I was like really feeling bad. But with my time, I think I took time off work actually because I was feeling really bad. In that time, I did get up my butt up to the craft room, and I made this little baby board for us to just mark like how many weeks I was, how big the baby is. Because I saw people taking pictures of their bellies like as the weeks progressed, and they were holding little boards like that. So, and they were expensive. They were like $80, and like I can make one myself. So I made one, but I was still really sick. I did have another doctor appointment. Here's my another ultrasound picture that I put in there, and I was still reading. We had dinner with our friends, and then we went garage sailing on this day, and our neighbors and friends, the Hills, had a little baby girl, so we went and we visited little baby Lillian, which was awesome to see like a newborn baby, and I can relate because I was pregnant and she just had a kid, and it was great. So I decided to make some Halloween cupcakes. My husband did get sick, but I thought he looked kind of cute in that picture, so I put it in. I had lunch with my friend Yasmin. I was back at work, feeling a little bit better, but not 100%. We got a big shipment in for our reptile business. I hung out with my mom on this day, and then Matthew and I went to the farmer's market, and our fireplace was finally up and running. We had it installed, but I think they were still running gas lines and stuff, so we lit a fire on that day just to celebrate that. And then moving into next week, I made some Halloween cupcakes for my husband. I had meetings at work all day. Yeah, just a bunch of work stuff. More meetings on this day, and then I had lunch with my friend, and then our friends came over for dinner. Wow, we had a lot of people over that day. And then I had lunch with my coworker on this day. We had a little happy hour party. I got some plants for the house for indoor. We went to a show. We were in Kansas City this weekend, and one of our friends has the cutest kid. That's John Henry. He's adorable. Okay, so I had another doctor appointment on this day. Now, it's not normal. I had so many doctor appointments, guys. Like, I was pretty much at the doctor every week, and if you followed the Sweet Quiet Design group, I was really active, and up until me getting pregnant, I started to like dwindle down and not be as active, and this is kind of why that happened. But I did get the news on this day that I was going to have a miscarriage. I don't want to get emotional. Just give me a minute. There was nothing that they could do. It was just going to happen. And the doctor didn't know exactly when, but they did say like it was happening. So I was feeling really bad. I stayed home from work, and my husband brought me breakfast in bed. He tried to make me feel better. He took me to Michael's, and we just kind of had the day together. I did actually have the miscarriage on this day here. But moving along, we had lunch with one of our friends. We did have to tell. Unfortunately, we made the mistake of telling a bunch of people. My husband was really excited. So as soon as I found out I was pregnant, he pretty much told everybody. And now we were in the position where we had to tell people what happened. So that was a little bit tough on us. But we decided we were supposed to go to New Orleans this weekend, and we decided that we were just going to stay in and just be me and my husband and work through our feelings. And so we had did nothing this day. Matt lit the fireplace for me, and we just relaxed. And then we did go out for sushi because he's like, I was craving sushi, and obviously I couldn't have it with the baby. And he's like, well, you could have sushi now. He was just trying to make me feel better. But so I did take off this week of work as well, just because it was still pretty fresh, and I didn't want to cry all the time at work and everyone be like, what's wrong with you? So I had the day with Matthew. We got some smoothies, and then again we hung out and we just relaxed at home. And then I needed to put my mind to something, because I was just dwelling and going crazy of is it something that I did? Is there something wrong with me? So I needed to get back to work and put my mind to something else. So I started working in the snake room and organizing. We made little ID cards for everybody. And then we did decide to carve some pumpkins and try to get into the Halloween spirit a little bit, as much as we could. And then we packed and we left for a show when we were in Louisiana this weekend. So moving right along into November, unfortunately, when I get sad, I do a lot of retail therapy. So I did order some stuff. So I got some Happy Mail. I went shopping on this day. I did have another doctor appointment. I had lunch with my friend, and I did start going back to the gym, because when I found out I was pregnant, I was doing not as much exercising and just taking it easy. So I went back to the gym just to healthy mind and body and get back into the swing of things. And then I had another doctor appointment on this day. I had lunch with my friend as well. And then we were wrapping some presents. We had 2 birthday parties this weekend. So we went to a party on this day and then on this day as well. So for Christmas, my husband wanted me to build my own gaming computer and kind of, again, get my mind off of things. So me and my friend, we went to Fry's and Best Buy, and we started building my own gaming computer, which was really cool. So I ordered a computer desk, and then I got heavy back into planning to kind of distract me. And we went over to my friend's, and she gave me my first glass of wine that I hadn't had in a while. So we had dinner with them. That was fun. And then my coworker filled up my tire for me because it went flat at work. And I did some new nails on this day. And then we were gone in Stafford for a reptile show this weekend. And then, like I said, retail therapy. So I got some Simply Gilded washi in. I got some Happy Mail from Sweet Quai Design. I got all the Happy Mail. And then I was organizing my stickers on this day. I did new Color Street nails. I had lunch with my friend Yasmin. I have a lunch with her all the time. We had to mail some stuff out for our business. My husband, he was like, buy me some Cheez-Its. So I was like, okay. And I ordered him 10 boxes of Cheez-Its. And then we were gone at a reptile show for that weekend too. We decided to take our employee Tim out for lunch just to show our appreciation. We got some new business shirts in, so we were representing our business. And then my husband, oh my God, he took a bubble bath, and guys, look at the bubbles. He almost flooded the house with those bubbles. But This is like moving into Thanksgiving week. We did have a party at my job. I had lunch with my friend Yasmin, and then Thanksgiving we hung out with my family. It's tradition, we do go Black Friday shopping on Thanksgiving with my mom. So that's my mom and my husband. And then on actual Black Friday, me and my husband went out and we did more shopping. So, and then we were off this weekend, so this was our Christmas tree. We decided to skip Christmas this year just because of everything that happened. I wasn't ready for a Christmas tree, and Christmas kind of ruined that portion of my life for a little bit. So we decorated the outside tree and we had like a Charlie Brown tree and it was cute. And then I was wrapping presents on this day and watching Christmas movies with my husband. And moving into December. So we got some new merchandise in for our business, which is great because it's growing and doing good. We were watching Christmas movies. We got some new pets in, and then I was at work again. Just keep smiling. I guess I wasn't feeling great still, but I got back into my planning. And then right here, I washed my car. She looked great. I was proud of it, so I took a picture. And then I had lunch with my friend Tim, and then I had dinner with my friend Yasmin, and we were at a reptile show. This weekend we were in Austin, Texas. Okay, and this kit is from Cricket Paper Co. We got some more Amazon stuff in. I took a picture of all of us at the show representing our new shirts because we were proud of that. And I had 2 baby geckos hatch on this day. I did treat myself to some Starbucks and I had lunch with my friend Yasmin. We exchanged Christmas presents on this day. Then I, again, wasn't feeling so great. Like, I was super sick pretty much like this whole year. I did my nails, and then my gaming computer was done and set up, and I played World of Warcraft with my daddy. So that was awesome. And then me and Matt just had a movie night, and we watched Avatar. And then getting closer into Christmas, I was planning a lot, and dun dun dun. So I found out that I was pregnant again. It's kind of hard to explain, but on this day, I was 6 weeks pregnant again, and I was terrified because I literally just had the miscarriage, and it's not good and it's not healthy to be that pregnant again. But the date of conception, my doctor dated it back to right before I had the miscarriage. I don't know how it works out, but the math and the numbers are there. That's like the only way that it happened. So we're pregnant again. And that probably explains why I was so sick and I was craving like a ton of pizza and things like that. But life goes on. We decided not to tell anybody. I told my husband, and that was the only person that I told. But I was still going to work, so I decided to uncoil my Erin Condren on this day. We had a party, had to get some white elephant gifts. I redid my nails. We also had another office party to go to here. And then we got more t-shirts in for our company. And we went over to our friends, the Hills, and we sat with baby Lillian. So that was fun. And then this kit is from Creating & Co. I did have another doctor appointment on this day, so this would have been 7 weeks for me. I painted my nails. We had a game night with our friends. Christmas, we spent the day with my mommy and my mother-in-law as well. We finally got our order in for the reptiles, so that was like a huge step for us. I got some happy mail in, and then great news that I became a PR girl for Little Pitty Paper. Super, super excited about that. And then we went bowling with our friends this day, and my husband and I went to the mall on this day. So I didn't finish this week in my planner because it was overlapping from the first, so I didn't want to like duplicate it. So I opted to not finish this week and just continue that into my 2020 planner. With that being said, I left here. I had an appointment, and then the following week I had 3 more appointments, doctor appointments this week, and unfortunately I had another miscarriage. And I know it's kind of hard to like share all of this with you guys because it's very personal, and we literally didn't tell anybody. I just told my mom a few weeks ago that it happened. So there were very few people in my life that knew about it, but it's in my planner, and I just wanted to, put it all out there. So I have another appointment coming up. I've been pretty much to the doctor almost every week, and they're just running a bunch of tests and stuff like that. But I didn't want to leave the video with everybody thinking that I was pregnant and we were going to have a baby and stuff, because I did have a miscarriage. So there's not much that I can really say on that, except that it did happen. Pretty much half of 2019 I was pregnant and I did not have a baby. But if you stuck with me that long, I'm sorry, that's gonna be a long video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I do have another planner. This is my Erin Condren horizontal, but it doesn't have pictures in it, so I thought this one might be a little bit more fun for me to do a flip through of for you. But if you want to see this one flip through, let me know and I'll make that video next. Until next time, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope 2020 is looking up for you. Bye.